son of Thomas J. Myree. Working diligently on researching the history of the Myree family, which I'll be reading to you tonight.
All right.
The documented history of the early Myree family starts in the late 1700s. Our first known ancestors were slaves belonging to the Holdress family of Rockham Stokes County of North Carolina. The Holdress estate was inventoried in 1796, and all the slaves were divided or sold or distributed, including our ancestors, Frank and Suki. The relationship of Frank and Suki is uncertain. However, they were likely related by blood or marriage. In the early 1800s, Suki had children residing in Wilkes County, Georgia. Moses, later known as Jack, eventually met Jenny and are officially recognized as the root of the Myree family as we know it today. In about 1820, both Jack and Jenny were slaves belonging to Louis McClendon and Cynthia Powell Holdress McClendon. Jenny's first child, Aaron, was born in 1821, followed by Charity, Jackson, and Frank sometime before 1829. William S. Myree married Elizabeth McClendon, daughter of Louis McClendon and Cynthia Powell Holdress McClendon. Louis died around 1820. At that time, all of the Holdress slaves and their descendants belonged to Louis McClendon, his wife and stepson, James McKendy Holdress. In 1829, the estate of Louis McClendon was settled and all the slaves were distributed or sold. William S. Myree had by this time migrated to Perry County, Alabama, purchased 4 of these slaves, including Moses, Aaron, along with Rachel and her child Lucy. Jenny and her other 3 children, Charity, Jackson, and Frank, were sold to Willis McClendon, brother of Elizabeth McClendon. By oral tradition, Jack and Jenny had 7 sons. All of these sons, including Moses and Jenny, are listed in the 1870 Alabama Federal Consensus. Rachel and her daughter Lucy are also listed in the census. Charity was not located in Alabama with the rest of the family by documentation or oral tradition. I believe Charity remained in Georgia after part of family migrated to Perry County about 1830. Thank you, family.
Thank you so much, Michael Thomas. At this time, Uncle Thomas is going to entertain. We are really concentrating on children and young people this year. And so Uncle Thomas had a wonderful idea to have our family history read, and then he will entertain any questions that young people have about our family history. So I'd like to turn it over to Uncle Thomas. It's not. I think we're going to get somebody to come. Use your outside voice.
What did James Brown say? I feel good. I'm outdone. Know that I, in my wildest dream, figured that I would see so many young people, Myrees, in one place. Let's give these young people an extra hand, extra portion. And, well, they put us in our place. And our place is to sit down and shut up. But I am really happy that over the years, Paula, you need to come up here with me. You're not going to sit back there.
Amen.
This is my protege. Marlene Prime. Anything you can think about the history of the Myree family. I was was able to research the older of the root. And then Pauline came in and took it from there, and she was able to go all the way down to, who's the youngest person in here? Hold up your hand. If you're less than 10 years old, hold up your hand. Pauline was able to take it all the way down to the current generation. We have a database, over 8,000 names in this database, and to the extent possible, we try to keep it up to date. We may get it wrong, but it is, they say it is what it is. And we reserve the right to change it if we make a mistake.
Yes.
I would like to just update one thing that we found out about this early history. The charity that you heard Michael mention, who remained in Georgia. We found charity. I went to several years ago. I went to Georgia, and I saw this tombstone of Charity McClendon, and I didn't have enough, knowledge at the time to make a picture of the tombstone. But subsequently, I knew she was born in 1821, but I thought the tombstone said 1830 something. So I dismissed this is not her. But then someone else made a picture of this tombstone. You have a picture of that tombstone. She was born in, I think the tombstone said 1823, put her right in line with her. So there's a whole bunch of, can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? There's a whole bunch of them. I'm going to say this, nobody get upset. Charity was probably mulatto. So how many of you know what mulatto means?
Mixed.
That means she was half white. I think Jenny may have been raped by a slave enslaver. Not only that, I think her father was murdered because of that rape. And Charity was speculating a little bit here. Charity was a result of that encounter. Charity had several children, and they were all half white. And they still are in Georgia, and they are well off. They're rich. They're rich. They call themselves McClendons. If you've heard of Toombs McClendon, he was a funeral director in Georgia, and they were well off. And this is a story I never told you before. But after the Civil War, when Jeff Davis was escaping Virginia, they put all the gold that he had in the treasure, and they came down through Georgia, and they decided to spend the night in Washington, Georgia. Somebody found out about that money, that gold. Guess who got a lot of it? Charity and her son. You can look this up on the internet. just look on the internet and say the Confederate gold, the story of the Confederate gold. So it was whispered around, but that's where Charity got a lot of her money, and her son got a lot of money from that. And they still exist. There's a bunch of them. And so if you look up Charity McClendon, Toombs McClendon, any of those people, they're very prominent people in Georgia. And they are cousins. I'm sorry, they are cousins. We can't control what happened in the past. We accept it and move on. So we found Charity, and she's alive and well. So that means we found a descendant of all of the Myrees except one, that's tabula. And I don't know what happened to tabula. But we found living, breathing descendants of all the Myrees over the last several years. Just very recently, I received a call from someone who wanted to come to this reunion. They live in Georgia. And this person is a descendant of Frank Myree. And eventually, Frank's daughter was named Jenny. And there's several Jenny Myrees in different generations. But Jenny married a king. And these people left Alabama and went to Indiana. And they were educators. Their ancestors were educators, school teachers, in fact. You know, Myrees know about school teachers, right? That's the family business. Teaching school. So they were school teachers in Georgia. So I was able to hook up with her, and we went through the family tree. And so she sent me a picture, some pictures. I can show if somebody wants to see what they look like. I can show you what they look like. Didn't quite look like us, but they were Myrees. I won't, I'm a little bit off record here, but the idea was that if you have a question, burning or otherwise, no question is too stupid to ask.
The McClendons that are living today, were they told about the history of their parents, or did they know they were really a part of the Myree family?
So what was your question again?
The McClendons that are living today, the younger ones, do they know about their family history?
Yes,
And do they know
I went to Africa.
that they are the part of Myree family?
I went to Africa with one of those descendants. His name was, I can't remember his name right now. His wife was deep into researching, and that's, you know, things would happen. She was researching McClendons, and I was researching the Myrees. And she went to the archives in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And the white lady, the white woman, can you hear me better? I don't think this is much better.
The other one is better.
The one I have is pretty good, I think. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, all right. The person who was a descendant of McClendons was doing research in Georgia. And I'm going to say it again, the white lady who was a enslaver said, hey, there's a person doing research, I think that you all are related. So I was able to hook up with Juanita McClendon, and we went to Africa together. She was a tour guide. And I have, you know, all of their, we've been in touch for several years. I haven't talked to any of the younger people, but we have been in touch. So the answer to your question is yes. I want to have a couple of these young people ask me a question that you need to know. I'm going to turn it over to Pauline. We're going to both see if we can answer the question.
Somebody wants to know what you call young. Okay, somebody want to know what you call young. I think we'll say 0 to 40, 50, 55, 25.
Everybody.
Okay, let's say 50.
That's not no better, that question. Everybody is young. To me, everybody in this room is young.
Okay.
My question is more so around for you, Uncle Thomas. Where did you get started with your quest to kind of discover our family history? And like before you, because since I've been born and around you have been the family historian. Who had the mantle before you, and then who can you teach kind of in the years to come so we can continue in excellence?
Amen.
That's an excellent question. It all started right here in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't know how many years ago, but we had a reunion here in Birmingham. And Doris, Cornell's sister, got a phone call from a man. He said to her, I understand y'all are having a reunion. And she said, yeah, but we're black. And the guy says, I know. So he said, I have some information I think you would be interested in. So he had his genealogy. He came out of the McClendon line. And he said that I have some information I think you would be interested in. And Doris said, well, my Uncle Thomas is not here, but when he comes, I'll tell him. So when I came here, Birmingham, I don't know what year, it was probably 1980 maybe. Joe Cephas was here, Moselle, Cleophas, and we all said, we're gonna go out and get this information. The question was, what are we gonna do to this guy? Are we gonna kill him, or are we gonna just be nice? So we decided to be nice, and he made a Xerox copy of 2 or 3 pages of his genealogy. And we met at a drugstore over almost in this area. So he gave us a copy of his genealogy. And he mentioned in that genealogy, William S. Myree. That's when I had heard about Major Myree for many years. But William S. Myree was in that genealogy. So we took that information and went to the LDS, Latter-day Saints database, and I was able to find the names of Moses, the same information that Michael was reading, Moses, Jenny, their children, and that's where we got started. The other question was, how did you know where to start? It all started with our...
And why did you do it?
Hmm?
And why did you
Yes.
do it?
It all started with we sat around the fireplace in a little town called Perryville. And my father was I would say almost a genius. But he would tell us these stories. Everybody got to hear about Jack and Jenny. Everybody got to hear about Jack and Jenny. And the real story was the slave owner didn't allow anybody to try to beat or whoop Jack and Jenny's boys. That's what they call them, Jenny's boys. So if they tried to beat them, they would resist. I don't know what they did, but Moselle told us that they didn't hit the slave man, but they would throw him against the tree or something, to defend themselves. So we always knew the importance of our history, and that was handed down to us through all those generations. So the oral tradition was a very strong thing for us, and we are hoping that you will pick up some of that old tradition and document even further. We are into AI right now. AI is able to find people that we could never find without AI. So what we're looking for, Pauline is looking for someone to hand the baton to. I handed it to Pauline. Pauline is looking for somebody to hand the baton to. We do have a website. So anybody who think they can become a webmaster, see Pauline. See me. And you can take up the baton and run with it.
particular, we also need someone who would take up the daily, not necessarily daily, but ongoing research to bring more of the contemporary family members into the fold. And as you do that, you always discover something new about the old. It's like Uncle Thomas has said to me once, it's there, it's just waiting for you to find it. So sometimes I've been researching a particular family and I can't find a thing. And then one day I go in, bam,
There it is.
there it is.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you, I just hope some young people will take that up. It sounds like dull, but I tell you, I love it. It is rewarding, it's rewarding, and you can learn so much in terms of reflection when you see the records and you see the marriage certificates and you see how people moved around. Okay, I have to stop talking because I'll talk your head off about the genealogy. I can't tell you where I got it from, where I decided I want to do that. Do you know how? Do you know how I decided to start researching family history?
Well, you come to the reunions and
Yeah.
I guess your daughter said she wanted to be like Uncle Thomas.
Okay, that's the story. I won't tell that then. I'm gonna give it to you. Here you are, I see you. But anyway, I have a daughter. I have two children, a boy and a girl. But my daughter, and we always came to all the reunions and brought the kids. And when Janae was about maybe 10, 9 or 10, somewhere like that, she came back from a reunion. She said, Mom, I want to be Uncle Thomas when I grow up. And so even though she's been living overseas for like what, maybe 30 years, she always comes back to the reunions with her kids, and I think she's missed maybe 3, and she will miss this one. Julian's going to college. They've been here twice this year. They're coming back in August to take him to school. So, believe me, she is going to call about 10 times during this reunion, which she already called too. And here's the question. Oh yeah, I'll tell her that. Oh yeah, and they are going to participate virtually at this reunion. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna stop right here. Okay.
Just one quick question. I'm just wondering about how old is Charity? About how old is Charity?
Sarah was born in 1828. No, 1821. 1821.
Okay.
So that would be, figure that out.
I'll do
Do the
that.
math.
She died in 1968.
How old is she?
Genealogist speak is will drive you crazy. And somebody would drive 1,000 miles just to see a tombstone.
Yes.
And say, I found such and such one.
That's right. Okay, now I'm gonna close out because Olivia is standing here, looking at me sideways. But please, young people, notify me or Uncle Thomas so that you can take the position. You got your hand up?
No, I was fine.
Oh. Because if you don't take it out, it's gonna drop. Somebody's gonna have to do it. Okay.
Just before we close out, I want to do a quick exercise to answer your question in a little bit more detail. How we got started? We started as the Myree, single Myree reunion, and then my sister Yvette and I, she told me that there was a reunion down in Toledo, Ohio. The Myrees were having a reunion there. So we went to that reunion, and that's where we met cousin James, Myree, and his brother Thomas. This is, I forget the name of the other older one, but we decided to pull it together and work as one. So I wanted, having said that, I just want to identify people who are related to the different of these 7 sons. When I call this name of the son, if you know that you're part of that branch, just hold up your hand. I'm going to start with the oldest one, which is Aaron Myree. So we've got Aaron represented here. I told you about Frank Myree. I just found Frank, a descendant of Frank's Myree, and they were fairly well educated. And then we had our cousins who no longer have been coming to the reunion, Sam Myree. Those are the Myrees who live up in Detroit. These are cousin Arlena's descendants.
She was my grandmother.
You fall under the rubric of Bob Myree, Robert Myree. And his brother was named Rob, Uncle Rob, Robert, Rob, Emmett, William, Arlena, all those people. So we're so happy to see you here. And we have Paul, Uncle Paul. And then we have, let's say, Robert, Daniel, I'm sorry. Then I just mentioned charity, but we have people, living live people in all those branches. So if you're not sure, see Pauline and myself, and we can give you the chapter and verse. So thank you all so much. Young people, I feel good, that's it. Yes.
I want to add something to the history of how the reunion began. I think my memory goes way back further than I can remember the very first Myree reunion that we had. I'm from the Dan clan. Robert? Okay, I'm thinking about Robert, okay, through Dan. And my mother and father had 12 children. They had more, but I only knew about 12. And I had never lived in the house with all of them. And because some were gone, others were born. So I remember one day, my husband and I, that's the Right Reverend Dr. Deacon Clyde Dickinson, and I and some of my sisters were sitting around talking. And we said, you know, we've never all been home at the same time. And my husband said, well, why don't we charter a bus and go home and surprise your mom and dad, see if we can pick up all 12 of their children and take them home at one time. And so my husband set about doing that. He barbecued, he sold fish dinners, we sold water, he raised money because we all had a lot of children. And we couldn't afford to go. So we chartered that bus and we started in Detroit. And we went to Cincinnati. Then we went to Cleveland. And then we went to Alabama. And all of the 12 children were on this bus and their children. So when we got home, the whole Jonesboro turned out. Everyone opened their homes and said, Mr. Dan's children is coming home. Miss Myree's children are coming home. So the 12 of us fell off of that bus, and you would have thought it was the biggest occasion in the world. All of the neighbors were there. They opened their homes. They prepared food. The church opened up, and they served all of us. And we did that for a couple of years. And then Uncle Thomas and Uncle Valley and Clyde sat one day and said, this is a good idea. Let's spread it out. Let's open it up. Because there are other brothers and other lineage. All of their children would love to come in and be a part of this. And so it was opened up, And I don't know how you and Annabelle and Pauline got everybody together. It turned into this amazing restructuring of the family and bringing together of all of those children of Jack and Jenny.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you. I'm not telling you to sit down. I'm just transitioning to the next item. No, seriously, thank you so much, Uncle Thomas, Polly, and Aunt Adele for your insights. Okay, we are going to transition into our Bridging the Gap ceremony and program. You ready for this?
Yes! Good evening, family.
Good evening.
Welcome home. Welcome to our 2024 Myree Family Reunion, Bridging the Generation Gap event. I'm going to just stop reading for a moment and say this to Thomas Michael Cobbin. Is he still in the
He's here in the back.
Okay, thank you so much. Uncle Thomas's grandson reading the history that his grandfather has written on behalf of our family. All the documentation and research is awesome, and that's what this event is all about, generations, from grandson to grandfather, from grandfather to grandson. We are a blessed family. 7 generations of family members have registered for the 2024 Myree Family Reunion. There are many scriptures in the Bible about generations. Joel 1:3 speaks to this occasion. Tell it to your children, and let your children tell it to their children, and their children to the next generation. 7 generations in one location is something to tell, and is something good to tell about our family. One of my favorite books is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And my favorite quote from that book is, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Now, that's how we're going to bridge the generation gap. At this reunion, we are 7 generations strong. Our purpose this evening is to foster generational understanding, knowledge, appreciation, and most importantly, love. To keep the Myree Family Reunion going and growing for many generations to come. So, let's identify the 7 generations that have come home to attend this reunion. Are you ready, family? Yes. If your birth years are from 1901 to 1927, raise your hands and shout out, the greatest generation.
Grandmother?
Hold on, wait a minute. Because grandmother is in a different generation. If your birth years are from 1928 to 1945, raise your hands and shout out, the silent generation. The silent generation. If your birth years are from 1946 to 1964, raise your hands and shout out, the baby generation. 1996.
Let's go, millennials!
If your birth years are from 1997 to 2012, raise your hands and shout out Generation Z.
Come on, Gen Z, that was weak.
Come on, Gen Z. Now, last but not least, our babies. If your birth years are from 2013 to the present, raise your hands and shout out Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha. Family, let's join hands, raise your hands, and shout out, let's bridge the generation gap. Hey, Olivia, will you help me show the family how we're going to bridge the generation gap?
Of course, Auntie.
Thanks, Liv. Okay. First, we connect. And family, when you have an opportunity, over on this side of the room, you will see all of the posters about the generations. You'll see the directions over there. You connect with a family member from a different generation. Liv, as you know, I'm in the baby boomer generation.
And Auntie, as you know, I'm in the millennial generation.
So, let's
Bridge the generation gap.
Second, family, we discuss.
Discuss what, Auntie?
We're going to discuss some of our generational qualities. They're right over there on those posters. And then the trays, you'll see a list of the qualities. And you'll get a list of the qualities that I have and the qualities that you have. And then we're going to switch lists and we'll share. And family, you'll see markers and dry erase boards over there on the table. Olivia.
Auntie, I'm gonna write your name at the top of this qualities list. And the first quality that describes you as a baby boomer is youthfulness.
Yes, I think that's true. As a baby boomer, I must say that youthfulness describes me because I am young at heart. The first quality on your list, Olivia, is that you enjoy meaningful work.
Yeah, I think that's true. Because as for me, as a millennial, it's important for me to have a job that allows me to make the world a better place. I do that in my work for advocating for everyone to have quality health care.
And family, we're going to pause for 1 second. And Olivia, if you would join me over here for just a moment. So the family will know that they're going to come over here. And I am right here. I am a baby boomer. So I'm going to get my list. And Olivia, if you come down here and get your list. And this has all the qualities on it. So this is the paper that you're going to be getting. And we'll just put that back and we'll come back over here. And we will continue to teach the family how to bridge the generation gap. All right. Family, you're going to continue the generation qualities discussion until you hear, Tam, would you come over here? Yes. My sister Tam, she's about the baby boomer too. So you're gonna have, wait a minute, hold on for a second. So you're going to continue until you hear this signal. And when you hear this signal, okay, put it down on the table and then press it.
Auntie. What's next?
Third, we interview each other. And the form that I showed you, there's interview questions on the back of it.
Auntie, what was your favorite song in your youth?
My favorite song was Keep Your Head to the Sky by Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was my jam.
My favorite song was Single Ladies by Beyonce. What was your favorite dance?
My favorite dance was the ball. The fourth way that you bridge a generation gap is that you interact. Liv, as you can see from the interview sheet, it asks about your favorite game. Let's go over to the game table. Okay, family, over here, as you can see, we have lots and lots of games. So, Olivia, I think you have another question for me. didn't get a lesson in Jackson this reunion. Woo! Olivia, when you were 22 or younger, when you were growing up, what was your favorite game?
Tetris.
Tetris? Has anyone ever heard of Tetris? Tell us more about it.
It's just a game on, like, you can play on the computer, and it basically connects shapes, and you have to, like, get to the next level.
Well, she's going to have to teach me how to play that game, because I don't have a lot of technology skills, but I want to bridge the generation gap. So am I ready to learn? Yes! And that's what it means to bridge the generation gap. First to understand, then to be understood. So family, are you ready to bridge the generation gap? Woo! So what we want you to do, and our last activity is we're going to share. So when you hear Tam press the easy button,
That was easy.
then we are going to share. So we'll let you know when it's time to share. Olivia and I and my sister Tam, we are your whole family. As you bridge the generation gap, the activities are over on the table. Connect with a family member. Find out more about them. Learn about their favorite song, their favorite dance, and any other questions that you want to ask on the interview sheet. So family, are you ready?